Who would have thought that some of nature's secrets would be hidden in ice? Thanks to the ever-increasing temperatures through global warming, it seems that the hidden secrets are revealing themselves one by one. You can't be a rainbow without a little rain, right? So grab your popcorn and let's take you through the jaw-dropping discoveries revealed under the melting ice. Number 10. The Frozen Forest. This retreating ice of Alaska's Mendenhall Glacier keeps revealing the beauty buried beneath it. Thanks to climate change, we now have a brand new forest that keeps revealing itself as time goes by. This glacier formed over 3,000 years ago and seemingly buried its beauty with it. Preserved stumps and trunks, many still rooted and even bearing bark, sit in a gravelly mix of stone churned up by the glacier. The trees being exposed to the open air for the first time in over 2,000 years are dated to range from 1,200 to 2,350 years old. Quite exotic, don't you think? We can't wait for it to permanently reveal itself. This amazing sight will simply awe you. Number 9. The 25-million-year-old lake is filled with life. Cut off from light and contact with the atmosphere is the deep, dark, and mysterious Lake Vostok. It's thought to have once been a large surface like in eastern Antarctica. Its presence was first suggested by a Russian geographer and pilot who noticed a large, smooth patch of ice above the lake while in the sky. It wasn't until 1993 that scientists confirmed its existence using a satellite-based radar to survey the area. The lake is roughly 149 miles long, 31 miles wide, and hundreds of meters deep. Shockingly enough, it's believed to obtain water from the melting ice sheet. Pretty fascinating, huh? Let alone the harsh environment around it. When reports started coming in about the possibility of life in the sub-glacial Antarctic lake, it shocked many researchers. Researchers later confirmed the existence of a genuine Vostok-dwelling bacterium, along with 3,500 different species. Number 8. White Battle, World War I battlefields. Fought mainly in the Alps of the Lombardy region of Italy and the Dolomites of Trentino, Alto Adige, the White Battle was a period of history frozen in time until the 1990s. Thanks to global warming, the melting ice revealed the preserved history of the famous White Battle. The barracks, believed to have been home to about 20 Austro-Hungarian army men, still leave brutal memories of a cold, treacherous battle in the bitterly cold alpine terrain. In 2015, the ice sealing off the barracks melted off completely, giving room to a 100-year-old history. Inside them were letters, weapons, diaries, sledges, and, as the melting continued, the bodies of fallen soldiers were found. This wooden barrack was discovered to be built in a cave on Mount Scorluso, where these men clamped down together for 3.5 years. It's hard to imagine the kind of terror these courageous men faced. Number 6. Mountains lurk under Arctic ice. Pictures of these mountains are quite interesting, as they showed a dramatic landscape of rocky summits, deep river valleys, and liquid lakes, all hidden under the vast frozen expanse. This is the least understood mountain range given the icy coat of 4,800 meters. The Gamburtsev subglacial mountains evidence uncovered constantly keeps colliding. Considering nearby rocks suggest they're quite ancient, but their steep, rugged shapes are what you'd expect of a young mountain. The existence of these mountains shook Russian scientists. It's believed to be the size of present-day New York City. If Antarctica melted, the Gamburtsev peaks and ridges would be the continent's highest mountain ranges. I certainly would want this new history written down. Number 5. The Fish Lizard Graveyard. Under the melting glacier of southern Chile are dozens of complete skeletons of extinct prehistoric marine reptiles commonly known by the Greek name fish lizards. These are dolphin-like marine lizards that lived around the time of dinosaurs. They're the greatest South American ichthyosaurus ever to be found in history. Over 50 complete fish lizards were found embedded in the ice rocks. These interesting groups of large, fast-swimming marine reptiles lived during the Mesozoic era, about 90 million to 245 million years ago. The discovered skeletons were both embryos and adults believed to have been terminated during a series of catastrophic mudslides. According to the remains, adults were more than 16 feet long. Luckily, they were preserved in deep-sea sediments that were later exposed by the melting glacier. Not only the bones, but also some soft tissues. Scientists found 46 specimens from 4 different species of these extinct ichthyosaurus. I don't know about you, but I love the way their skeletons were deposited together. At least, they weren't alone. Number 4. Actual honest-to-God's treasure. Imagine coming across jewels worth $330,000. What would you do with such a fortune? Well, before you answer, hear this story out. With a small box containing 100 precious jewels, this anonymous honest mountain climber walked up to the law enforcement office to return the treasure box. The box contained rubies, sapphires, and emeralds. Sounds too good to be true, right? You're not the only one thinking that. The man found the box in the ice while on a hike in Mount Blanc. It all began when 2 planes crashed on this very mountain, and the jewels are believed to belong to one of the 117 claimed lives who were on board Air India flights in 1950 and 1966. These jewels were found packed in satchels labeled Made in India. The French government declared a notice to the Indian government that in 5 years, with no claim, the treasure would go back to the mountaineer. Number 3. The Glacial Girl. Did they just find Captain America's abandoned plane? After 50 years, this P-38F fighter plane was recovered from a depth of 264 feet by the Greenland expedition. All the other crew members had already been rescued, except for this little beauty. This was among the 6 Lockheed P-38F fighter planes used in the Second Grand Battle that was ordered to land on July 15, 1942, due to bad weather. Instead, it got buried in the years of a soaring icing. The plane was taken to Middlesboro, Kentucky, examined and restored to its original condition. In October 2002, the plane was able to take her last flight. It's still surprising how even after being through one hell of an adventure, it still looks like a dime today. Number 2. Circle of Frozen Alien Eggs. Many people still debate that humans aren't the most dominant creatures on the planet. Is it the aliens? This discovery will make you question a lot. The only creatures thought to beat human intelligence were discovered on Utah Lake. The stomach-turning video of a spiral circle of eggs that seemingly melted through the ice was discovered by Jason Nielsen. You just don't see things like this regularly. Reports say it could be evidence of an alien life form, which honestly creeps people out. Jason said that the eggs that appeared to be laying symmetrically felt like some soft tissue. Whatever it was, it brought fear to all humanity. Number 1. Viruses on the Tibetan Glacier. I bet you've seen movies where an unknown virus attacks a population, and then just like that, comes the apocalypse. That's what people thought about of the COVID-19 global pandemic. Well, the same case goes here. Scientists discovered a 15,000-year-old virus sample, unknown to humanity, buried on the Tibetan Plateau in China. Oh, why is it always China? The discovery was made by researchers who were analyzing ice samples from the Gulia ice cap. The layers had formed neatly on top of one another, signifying the period in which the glacier grew. What's shocking from what they reported back is that the hotbed of the unknown viruses was a riddle to be solved. They managed to sample 4 and claim there are 28 new virus genera. According to studies, this new gene can infect cells in a cold environment. On the bright side, scientists can use this discovery to piece together the history of viral evolution, which has been almost impossible to discover given viruses don't share the same gene. The ability of the glacier to preserve these viruses for such a long time raises countless unanswered questions, especially with the fact that ice keeps melting regularly. Could some of these viruses really cause harm to us? Did the COVID-19 come from there? Whatever the case, I hope a zombie virus isn't among these unknown viruses. Until next time, adios.